Welcome to the future, where the glass is half full and you'll need new glasses, where you'll be jumping from conclusions.
The past is annulled, and a new future is born.
Never before in history has so much meant so little to so many. AD on the radio.
So, you know, if you've listened to the show for any length of time, you might have heard this story at some stage in the game. But the way I got into radio was I was in this band. And when the band was over, I needed to do something with my life. I was a 23-year-old, and my resume said lead singer in a band, and I didn't even have a band anymore, and I didn't know what to do. And with no applicable life skills that were useful in any way, shape, or form, radio seemed like a pretty safe bet. And, well, here we are. But the way it started out was so much fun. You look back at part of your life ever and think, that was it. That was not the high point. It's not like you peaked. But there's a stage in your life where you had so much fun. And maybe a unique kind of fun. A lot of people, I think of their college days as that. Where you don't necessarily have responsibilities. You do. You got stuff that you got to get done. You got grades you got to keep up. You got whatever the hell it is. But it's not like you are a fully formed adult with the burdens of, I have to put time into my relationship. I've got to work this many hours of my job. I've got to meet these quotas. I've got to hit these deadlines. I've got to pay this mortgage. I've got to pay these bills. I'm worried about having kids. I got to make sure I'm putting X percent of money away from my paycheck so that my children will be able to go to college. And yeah, before all that hits, when you're sort of exploring the world, it's some of the most fun it's possible to have, I think, when you're first making your way. And for me, I had an unfair advantage. It was the most fun it's possible to have being a teenage kid in a rock band that's hitting the road. And we went on to do some stuff. We got this big, stupid record deal in America and had tour buses and custom-built flight cases and people who were carrying those custom-built flight cases for us. It all became very serious when there was big American dollars. But we started off, we got this little deal for a couple of singles in England from, I think it was Mercury Records. But even before that, we were out on the road. We got ourselves a booking agent, you know. We're going to be a band. This is what we're going to do. And, well, we should play a show. And we were living in London. We were a London band. But we decided to get out of town here and there. So you play these little, we would call them provincial shows. Little hole-in-the-wall bars and stuff. And they were fun. And, you know, sometimes people would know you. Sometimes they didn't. But as we started to do these little circles of touring loops in England, people started to know us. Word started to spread. We got good. We drew crowds. It was the most goofing off I've ever done in my life or ever will do in my life. And as I look back at it, I think I look at that the way a lot of people look at college. Man, that was stupid. But we learned some stuff and we had a lot of fun. That's sort of how I think about it. Now, we played these little provincial shows, and then we started to hit up the big cities. We went to places like Oxford. We went to places like Liverpool. And then, after we'd sort of built ourselves up in a bunch of cities, we decided we would take on, or our booking agent decided we would take on, Manchester. Now, London and Manchester, for those that don't know, this is sort of like the northern and southern divide. Big cities. A little bit of a rivalry when it comes to sports teams. Or a lot of a rivalry. But Manchester's this big city up north. And that was, I got to be honest with you, a little intimidating. Because in the bottom half of England, in the south, we were golden. We knew we could go anywhere. And we would have a crowd on our side. But I'll never forget the first time we played Manchester. I think it was this place, the Manchester Academy, which was basically like a student union bar. Like, man, I got to tell you, England is such a supportive environment for live music because there's all these little cities and they're sort of like, I don't know, an hour and a half away from each other. You come to America, you got to cover huge amounts of distance before you can play another show. Like, take a city like Houston. Houston, from the very top to the very bottom, is like, I don't know, about 100 miles. And in England, that would be 3 shows. You'd play one every 50 miles, and you get a different crowd at each one. Very supportive environment. But like I said, we found ourselves in the city of Manchester, this town with incredible musical heritage and a reputation for tough crowds. We didn't know what to expect.
Real radio.
104.1.
Where the left and right come together for fundamental truths. AD on the radio, on Twitter at ADSXE.
So, my band, who at that point had kind of just been a bit of a laugh. Like, we had our sights set high and there were record labels crawling all over us, and we knew something was going to happen, but we're still new. And I was a kid. I was a teenager. I didn't care about anything. I just wanted to play and have fun. See the country, see the world if I could. That's what I wanted to do. And we kind of became kings of London. We were big in a lot of other cities and a lot of little towns. Like I said, England is this incredibly supportive place if you're a touring musician, because every hour and a half or so, it's another little city with another crowd and another venue. So this country that's essentially the size of New York State, you can play a whole bunch of shows in it. You can go on an English tour for a really long time and not run out of places to play. It's crazy how that works. And like I said, for that reason, it's a very supportive environment for the touring musician. Now, the little towns were fun and they were cool, and you always knew you had the crowd on your side because a lot of times there wasn't a whole lot to do. It's sort of an old adage when you're in a rock band or in a band or any kind of entertainment thing whatsoever. If you're traveling and you hit up a small town with not a lot to do, there's a very good chance that you're going to have a blasty blast because people are just looking for some way to entertain themselves. Hey, there's a band coming. Oh, we're going to go see them. That'll be great. Whereas in New York or LA, like, you're competing against 8 other bands down the block, and it's just not going to go anywhere near as well, and the crowd's a little jaded. And, well, that's what we thought of Manchester. Manchester, sort of, you know, the big cosmopolitan city of the north of England. And there was a rivalry between places like Manchester and places like London. So here we are, wet behind the ears band, on our way to Manchester. And it was a little intimidating. Now, it becomes less intimidating when you go on stage and there's literally no one there to watch you. You know, you need people to intimidate you. And that was what happened. We had this big fanfare, this enormous thing that usually, you know, made people lose their mind, and the mosh pit would start before we even played a note, and people would push closer to the front of the stage. And then when we hit the stage, all hell would break loose. But the giant fanfare intro that we came onto was pretty, it was pretty underwhelming when you step on stage to no one, like 2 people at the back of the bar who are annoyed you're disturbing their conversation. And I'm pretty sure it was the Manchester Academy, which was like a student union venue. So it's this venue with a lot of nooks and crannies, places for no matter how many people are in there, they can disperse and just, you know, avoid your show entirely if they're not into it. And I remember thinking, well, this is going to be a long hour and a half as we're getting ready to play to exactly no one, like I said, 2 annoyed people that were bothered that we were disturbing their conversation, hanging out by the bar. But then something funny happened. Literally, running up to the front of the stage, halfway through the first song, comes like three people. And they're hanging onto the barrier like there's people fighting for their place. Literally no one. 3 people watching us. But they're like into it. They think this is cool. And then one of them rushes off. I was like, we lost one. They brought back like 3 more people. And then slowly, a couple more would peel off and bring back more. And we realized as we were playing, as we got finished with the end of the first song, and we had this little crowd of about 20, 30 people, hey, this might be a show. But I'll never forget watching those first 2 people come running up to the front of the stage and being like, yes, this is awesome. And then by the time there was like 5, 10 people there, they were sort of hopping up and down. Like there wasn't quite enough folks there for a mosh pit, but they were doing their darndest. And the same thing would happen over and over again. A couple people would leave the crowd, zip off somewhere, come back with more. And about 3 songs into it, 10, 15 minutes into it, the room was packed, heaving to the gills. It started off 2 or 3 people and became this amorphous, sweaty mass of crowd surfers and stage divers. And one kid pulled me off the stage. The crowd carried me around for about the length of a song and a half and then returned me, perfect rock star moment, back to the stage. And it was incredible. It was a magical moment. It was something that I'll never forget for as long as I live. And the very moment we finished up and got off stage, we were mobbed. And it was interesting because that sort of, not uppity would be the wrong word, that sort of competitive nature that folks in Manchester had with England made it a different kind of being mobbed. They weren't fawning over us. They were being like, man, that was awesome. So cool. You want to hang out? You want to go? Let's go hang. And I don't remember exactly what happened, but I remember sort of toweling off back at the hotel and meeting a bunch of the people from the show. And then we all went out to some club and it was crazy. And we got back at about 5 a.m. and I don't think I slept at all. And it was a fantastic, unbelievable, beautiful, sweaty night filled with people that were just excited to be there. People that were excited to do some living. There's certain aspects of many towns in England, especially up north, that are a bit grim. And for that reason, when folks get an opportunity to cut loose and experience a little bit of happy, man, did they go for it. But I'll never forget the reaction, the spirit and the reaction of people going, this is awesome, we're having a blast, quick, get our friends so they can have a blast too. And it went from nothing to a room heaving full of people in one of the greatest nights of my life in no time flat. And it taught me a very, very important lesson about the city of Manchester.
For more stimulation and less irritation, 9 out of 10 doctors choose KPRC AM 950, Houston's more stimulating talk radio.
Don't get the blues, get all the news. We mean all of you guys out there in Radioland. All aboard!
He's back. AD on the radio.
Give it up, yeah. Give it up, yeah. Bring this on, come on, come on.
So, I'm sure, a bomb went off at an Ariana Grande concert in England the other night. At least 22 people were killed. Close to 60 were injured after an explosion at the Manchester Arena in England, right after that Ariana Grande show. Manchester Arena, totally different venue than the one we were playing. We played the Manchester Academy, which was, like I said, a student union bar. And it happened outside the arena at around 10:30. People were filing out of the building. Act of terrorism appears to be the work of a suicide bomber. British Prime Minister Theresa May called it an appalling terrorist act. An 18-year-old man who was at the show told CNN Ariana was off the stage. She'd finished her set. I looked around because I heard this big bang, people screaming and crying, and flooded towards the stage. Another witness said it was a really big explosion. Everybody started screaming and running. There were people on the floor. There was a lot of confusion. We're getting more word on the identities of the victims. But make no mistake, who's at an Ariana Grande show? Girls, young girls, kids, parents, mothers, women and children. Innocence. Locals opened their homes to people who needed everything from a place to stay to just a cup of tea and a hug. Locals helped to reunite parents with their kids. Taxis giving free rides to those in need. People still looking for their children.
Oh my god. What's going on? What just happened? What's going on? Oh my god!
So, what did I learn about Manchester when I was there? I learned that Manchester is a truly great city, filled with people who are incredibly passionate about music and about life. And when they get an opportunity to live it to the fullest, they take it. Besides that first show that I played there, some of the best nights of my life have been spent playing or enjoying music in that town. Manchester, this is a city of people who will not have their will broken by a horrific and cowardly attack like this. They will double down on their passion for life. In Manchester, they always were, and they always will be, mad for it. Mad for it. Manchester. Amazing town, full of spirited people. And despite the casualties, despite the horrific nature of the attack, despite the despicable cowardice that it takes to go after children and go after women, just by the nature of who was attacked, hate and terror lost ground today. To those responsible, to those that would take credit, to those that would feel as though this is some sort of win, a victory. You know what you did? You attempted to break the spirit of some of the most spirited people on the planet. You won't. You will lose. End of story. Like I said, just by virtue of the people that you went after, you lost ground today. And it goes without saying that our love and prayers and condolences to all who are suffering right now is at the front of our minds. Manchester strong. All right, Funkhouser, what's going on in the world? Let's do a little news,
This
shall we?
is My Witness News. In no way, shape, or form fair and certainly not balanced. And now, super producer to the stars, Barry Funkhouser. Barry Funkhouser.
Yeah.
Barry Funkhouser.
What?
Barry Funkhouser.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello. What's going on in the world?
Oh, so many things, man. I mean, you covered all the hard stuff, so I guess we'll go with the easy stuff now.
You know, what a rugged week. I mean,
Oh, it's heavy.
we haven't even had a chance to discuss Chris Cornell on this show
man.
yet, and I can't.
We'll get to it.
Yeah, no, people have been asking about it, and we will get to it. But, whew.
Heavy.
Between
you know, they say it comes in threes. I guess we only lost one, but I mean, two very
Well,
sad
I mean,
events.
you know, Chris, Cornell, my friend Sonia, who passed away, and now this terrible tragedy in Manchester. It's been a hell of a week. It's I think made a lot of people stop and think. So let's take solace in the fact that the Mets crushed the San Diego Padres recently, and we're going to have a couple of laughs in the news.
All right, we'll start with Elton John. He says, a lot of untalented musicians were promoted during the MTV era.
Well, the MTV era, I guess, would be the 80s. And I think there was a period in time where if you had a music video, they were so starved for those things because everyone was like, what, it's radio on TV? This will never catch on. People like to listen to radio in the car while they're going places. This won't be a thing. We're not buying into it. How much does it cost to make a music video? Hell no. So if you had a music video, there's a very good chance you're going to get played over and over and over again. So there's some people in the early stages of MTV, from what I understand, that absolutely were successful because they had a video. And then people realized it was the wave of the future. And then, you know, everybody had videos and it became this big battle to get yourself on MTV. And I think that's maybe what Elton John was alluding to. There was a lot of people that got on just because they had a video, or people that weren't necessarily all that great or talented in his eyes, but they had a good video. I don't know. You know, they might have been untalented musicians getting successful during the MTV era, but at least their only talent was not getting pregnant before they could legally drive. That seems to be the prerequisite for getting on MTV these days. Oh, I made a horrible life choice. You get a show. Go on.
Katy Perry will get $25 million to be a judge on American Idol.
Whoa. What?
Wow.
How much?
$25 million.
Excuse me? A baking powder? How much?
$12.5 million for each Perry.
Each one of Katy's Perrys?
Yes.
That's how many episodes does she have to do? 25 million? Didn't that show go away the first time? Didn't it get canceled because no one was watching it anymore? Like, how long ago was it canceled? Like 2 years ago?
I think it was more recent than that. It was like last
Yeah,
season or something. Yeah, it was very recent.
Well, like, all right, so look, here's the thing about American Idol being revived. It was not a show that I ever watched, but I'm actually looking forward to it, just sort of for no reason other than I'm into the nostalgia aspect of it. Like, I like the fact that it's coming back. I can't wait to not watch it, just like I didn't watch it back in 2006. It'll make me feel good. Slightly superior.
Yeah, but what
you
about
watched
Katy
American
Perry?
Idol? Now I get to say, like, oh, is that a thing from American Idol? Yeah, I don't watch that show. Like,
you can say that
get
again.
that same sense of smug satisfaction I got out of it in 2006 when I was still wet behind the ears and thought I was cool. But wait, but it's a different network because was it on Fox before? Help me out here.
Mm-hmm. And now it's on
now
NBC.
it's on ABC or NBC or ABC.
ABC.
One of the BCs. Okay.
Yeah, ABC won Seacrest. Remember, they won Seacrest, and now it's Kelly and Ryan in the 9 o'clock hour or something, and now they get Idol too. Yay!
Oh, well, there you go. And Katy Perry's getting $25 million to be a judge on American Idol. That's well, okay. No, it seems like a lot of money. It does seem like a lot of money, but you got to bear in mind it's Katy Perry, and she has to buy lots of new sweaters to replace the ones that she's constantly stretching out of shape.
She deserves every penny.
Did you see her on Saturday Night Live this past weekend just gone by?
Yeah, but I can't say I kind of skimmed through it. I didn't hear the song. She's got that new haircut going on.
I don't know if anybody paid any attention except to that kid with the backpack that did the dance. Like, that was amazing. I think that kid became an instant meme. Do you know who I'm talking about?
No, I skipped past it.
What?
I guess I was looking somewhere else.
Yeah, you missed the best part. They had this kid, probably like 12, 13-year-old kid, come out and do this, like, just, you remember those kids? Do you remember Crazy Frog, that viral video? Like, they played the theme from Axel F. Do you remember Crazy Frog?
Faintly.
Yeah.
Somebody's
he looked like one of the kids from...
Somebody's going to have to link us that on Twitter or something.
I think it's like a 10-year-old viral video. I'll dig it up and I'll send it to you, Funkhouser. But it kind of reminded me of the Crazy Frog kids. And it was great. Like, you couldn't take your eyes off of this 13-year-old kid doing this incredibly herky-jerky and somewhat unskilled dance. Like, this kid might have been like a real dancer, but the dance he did is like, what I would do if I was at a wedding. It's just like it's not really dancing. It was very relatable, I suppose, in that way. And it was hilarious. But he had this like incredible steely-eyed deadpan look as he was doing it. And that's all I remember. I don't even really remember much about Katy Perry's. Go on.
Bobby Moynihan is finally leaving SNL after 9 seasons to start a new show.
Oh. Anything you'd like to add, Kenan Thompson? 9 seasons. He's going to be starring in a new show. I think the show is actually... Oh, wait. Apparently, the show is called Hint, Hint, Kenan Thompson.
Hey, leave him alone.
I love Kenan Thompson on, dude, so funny. His Steve Harvey is hilarious. His Steve Harvey on Black Jeopardy is unbelievably, amazingly, awesomely funny. And I was just starting to warm up to Bobby Moynihan. I kind of never got him, but lately I find him to be kind of hilarious. I like that character that he does that goes on Weekend Update, Riblet, Do you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Oh, well, there you go. He's leaving, creating opportunity. Now somebody new can be on SNL. They need a new... I think I heard him talk about this. He's like, I'm leaving, which makes room for a new fat guy.
I wonder which fat guy it'll be.
I don't know. We're just out of shape. We're not fat enough to try and go after the fat guy spot on SNL. We're no Chris Farley.
You remember Jay Farrow?
Yeah, of course I remember Jay Farrow. Jay Farrow is like, credit where credit is due. Like, he's funny. That's my favorite part of the show. Did he do Wait, hold on.
Yeah, no. He didn't do Weekend Update, but he left the show.
No,
really quickly.
I think he got fired. I think they let him go. He was the guy that was incredible with impersonations. He could impersonate like any rapper. It was Jay Farrow is a master impersonator.
Yeah, now we can get him on the show, and easily one phone call.
Yeah, well,
he's very available at this point.
Yeah. What else?
Caitlyn Jenner says gender reassignment surgery isn't as bad as people think.
Yeah, I heard that. Caitlyn Jenner wants everybody to know that having your gender reassigned, that surgery, isn't all that it's cracked up to be. It's not that bad, which is surprising to me, only because I've heard the doctors that perform those operations can get a little bit snippy.
You walk these streets most every day. You're waiting to get washed away.
Radio. 104.1. Now, more AD on the radio.
All right, Funkhouser, let's roll through what remains of the news, shall we?
The Price is Right host Drew Carey turns 59 today.
Oh, wait. Oh.
What? Oh, you wanted to guess? Oh. Hey, okay, let's...
Well, here's the thing. If I would have guessed that he's 60, I would have lost because I would have gone over. Because he's the host of The Price is Right.
Yeah, we should have.
Thank you.
Aww.
Drew Carey's 59? Man, he looks great. I guess he's been around for a long time and never, ever would have imagined that he's almost 60. Go figure. What else?
Do you know that he invests in soccer, I think?
He owns a soccer team. Yeah. I heard him interviewed once when he talked, because Drew Carey's this guy, very, very successful sitcom. Has big successful sitcom money. Not quite Seinfeld level, but nevertheless, nothing to sneeze at. You know, when network television was still a thing, there was Drew Carey kicking ass and taking names on the Drew Carey Show. And he was also a very successful stand-up. And on top of all of that, he was like, I think, the executive producer of the show, so he made extra money off of it, and then he had a best-selling book. Like, he's not hurting for cash in any way, shape, or form. And when he was asked about doing The Price is Right, he was like, why would you, at this stage in your career, want to do a game show? Why would you want to host The Price is Right? He was like, oh, man, the money's fantastic, and I wanted to buy a soccer team. So he basically did The Price is Right and bought himself a soccer team with the money. And, like, I guess they shoot, like, 3 shows in a day or something like that. I think he only works 2 days a week, and then he's done for the rest, and then he has the rest of the week to buy soccer teams or whatever the hell else he wants to do. So, yeah, that's impressive.
Go him.
Would you host a game show, Funkhouser?
Oh, in a
I kind
second.
of think that I think eventually you will host a game show.
I hope so.
think you'd
Or
be
like
so
a love
good at it.
connection type of show. That would be fun. Like a
Yeah, I
dating
think
show
you'd be awesome at that. Yeah.
or a divorce show.
I don't think I could do I don't know. I don't know if I have the right personality to be a game show host.
Let's
I would like
look
to
at
do
the
quiz
board.
shows.
Can AD be a game show host? Ding! It says you can.
Well, I don't know. Like, I think like, I would like to do a quiz show, like a panel show. That would be cool. Like, they don't really have them here in America so much. They've got things like Politically Incorrect, which is, you know, the Bill Maher thing where it is a panel, and they've got a bunch of political panel shows. But you ever watch QI in England?
No.
Like the English show Q. Oh my gosh, it's the best. Stephen Fry, who do you know who Stephen? You know Stephen Fry?
Mm-hmm.
Half of the great British comedy duo Fry and Laurie. And Laurie would be Hugh Laurie, the guy that went on to play House. They used to be hilarious together. They made the Jeeves and Wooster series together. If you haven't seen it, please, please, please watch it. You can download it or buy the DVDs or something. It is just a gift to the freaking world. But he's basically the host of this kind of, well, pseudo-intellectual English talk show / game show / panel game. They don't really have them over here, and they're hilarious. So, like, try QI, and then never mind the Buzzcocks. Just hilarious shows. Definitely worth checking out. Do yourself a favor. Look into that. I could do something like that because it's, you know, basically a bunch of goofballs that are pseudo famous for being amusing on the show, and you're not actually trying to keep track of points and stuff. Like, I don't think I could do the thing where, like, oh no, sorry, this was a life-changing amount of money and you lost. I just don't think I could.
I could do that.
I couldn't crush everyday people's dreams.
I can't wait.
It's not okay.
I'll probably end up on QVC though. Check out this lovely cubic zirconia. It's only 4 payments of $4.95.
That's such a weird gig, man. Like, don't those guys and girls on QVC, don't they get, like, paid commission based on what they sell while they're on TV? I think that's how it works. It's like like you're a salesperson, and it's a commission-based thing, and
it also depends on the hour you're on. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
an old friend, a coworker of mine who went on to produce the Seacrest show, started out in QVC, and he told me all about it. He said, you know, you have to work your way up to prime time, and once you're in prime time, it's all about filling time and just being friendly and talking for hours and hours and hours about, well, you know what they sell.
Right.
You have to.
Well, actually, no. I got no idea.
Well, I mean, you can guess. If you've seen it, it hasn't changed in 35 years.
It mostly seems to be like bits of jewelry and collectible plates and
I think there's now more kitchenware
that are
too.
slightly irregular and other kitchenware. Oh yeah, I guess salad shooters and stuff like that. Those get their own infomercials. Those get their own sort of like Ronco things.
Yeah. Wait till you see what it does next.
Yeah, it slices, it dices, it does something I can't mention by name on the air. But gentlemen, when your wife is out of town, this vacuum cleaner performs an entirely different function. It comes with a French maid's outfit, if you know what I mean, and I think you do. All right, what else, Funkhouser?
Well, here's the thing. Melania Trump swatted away her husband's hand in disgust as they arrived in Israel.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah. You know, I saw the video.
I don't know what
and
to
at first
think.
I thought, well, here's the thing. He can't even get his own wife to like him. Maybe not the greatest guy to finally negotiate Middle Eastern peace. However, then I watched it again. Hold on, let's see here.
It's
walking. Hey, Melania, let me take your hand. Nah. No, yeah, it did look kind of like she.
But
I don't know.
From another
on the one hand, it
angle,
looks like she's trying to pass him something. Like, hey, I need $1 to tip the valet. Do you have something? You know how some guys insist on doing that. Must be the man. Can you pass me? Like, it looks like she might be passing him something. I don't know if she's.
But even the counter question is, it looks like he gave her enough time to grab his hand, and she ran out of time, and he just pulled it away. At the same time, she ran. You know,
partially it seems to be like too slow.
It's like the grassy knoll scenario.
They might have a little situation where they just touch hands. Like, we're not actually going to hold hands, but hey, just so you know, I'm here. Like how you squeeze someone's shoulder or something like that. People are so eager to jump all over anything. We're just so polarized as a country that, this is a headline. Did Donald Trump get his hand swatted away by Melania? And you know what? If he did, that instantly to me makes him more relatable. Like, you've been in that situation with your girlfriend or your wife, and you're like, honey, I'm sorry. Can we just keep it nice for these people? Oh, yeah, I'll be real nice. Don't touch me.
KPRC, more stimulating talk radio.
There's something happening here, and you should know what it is. The dumbing up of America. Now, more AD on the radio.
So, Funkhouser, when you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up? Like, what did you think you would be?
What age?
I don't know.
I always knew I wanted to be what I am.
Between, like, the ages of, say, 6 and teenage years. 6 to 17.
Astronaut?
Yeah, an astronaut? Oh, that's
6 to 17? No, 6 to, like, 12. And then after 12, I want to be on the radio. Same thing.
Right. Okay, gotcha.
Flying through space.
There's a moment, and it's funny, because Dave Grohl's mom wrote a book about what it was like to parent a rock star, and she interviewed a bunch of other moms of rock stars, and the common thread that she found is that kids that were going to do music, they knew, and it was all in the early teens, like right around 13 years old, sort of like between 11 and 13 years old, there was just no going back. That's music. That's what you were going to do. And there was no if, and, or but about it. It was going to be music. And for me, that was the way it was. Like, I just remember playing the drums. I remember thinking, I got to do something with this. It was that first concert I ever went to, that Motley Crue concert, when I was like this kid, like I was this kid. I was probably in like the 4th or 5th grade. So like, what is that? 10, something like that. And I'm seeing Tommy Lee play drums upside down while there's fireworks going off. I'm in the first mosh pit of my life. I'm being carried around on people's shoulders because I'm the kid there. I turn around. I see this arena full of people looking back at me, or even though they weren't looking back at me, they were looking at Tommy Lee playing his drums upside down while fireworks were going off. And I see like women taking their tops off, and I don't even know why that's so appealing to me, but it is. And I just go, I want to do something with this. I told your old boss, Nikki Sixx, that once. I was like, you're kind of responsible for the trajectory of my life. And he was like, sorry. I was like, no, it all worked out. But it was like a year or two later when I was playing the drums and I have to play music for a living. That's what I want to do. I got bit by that bug, and I got bit by it hard, and there was absolutely no turning back. And then for a while I did it. Then I fell into, being on the radio, which is satisfying in a very similar yet different sort of way. But so you wanted to be an astronaut?
Yeah, for the first couple of years.
Yeah. I think I wanted to be either an astronaut or not an astronaut. Like, it was either going to be a musician or a political cartoonist. I thought those people that wrote that political cartoons in the paper were just like awesome. I think like if you go back through my high school sketchbooks, there's like pictures I did of Saddam Hussein and stuff like that. It just, caricatures of them that weren't actually too bad, I don't think. But those were the dreams that we had of making of it. Those were the dreams we had when we were kids. This is what we're going to make of ourselves. You will not believe what the number one kid The number one thing kids say today they want to be when they grow up is? Well, what do you suppose that is, Funkhouser?
Famous.
Like, but what is the profession?
You
I'm going to save you the hassle. You won't freaking believe it, but I'll share it with you after we finish the news. See, that's a tease.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought so too.
It's like you do this for a living.
It's
like you do this for money.
Vaguely approaches a living. Yeah. It's like I do this for some money, is what it's like. Living is being a little generous. Go on.
Donald Trump became the first sitting U.S. president to visit the Western Wall.
Yeah. It was a little awkward when he asked how many immigrants it would keep out.
I'm going to build you a brother.
I wonder if Trump will ever remind anyone that he was the first president to do it. I'm going to go with yes. What else?
A sinkhole opened up in front of the president, front of President Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate.
Yeah.
A sinkhole.
Yep. A sinkhole. Well, that makes sense because, you know what the date was when that happened?
What? When?
When the sinkhole opened up in front of Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. I'm looking at the calendar here, and it makes perfect sense. Yeah, right on schedule. Right on Sinkhole de Mayo.
Like 2 weeks late. Sorry. Bill Clinton says he has 2 ant farms.
No, it's not 2 weeks late because it was still May. But oh gosh,
Sinkhole.
It's not Cinco. It's Sinkhole de Mayo.
Oh,
Cinco de Mayo is the 5th of May. Yeah. Do you know?
My job here is to blow the jokes.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks very much.
Bill Clinton says he has 2 ant farms.
Yeah, and in true Bill Clinton fashion, one ant farm doesn't know about the other. Have you ever seen an ant farm?
Yeah. There's this YouTube video that trended where some dudes put molten aluminum in an ant hole, and then they let it cool, and then it becomes a work of art.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah. That is neat. It makes me feel bad for the ants.
Yeah.
But you ever watched an ant farm? They're fascinating little cultural ecosystems. Like, it sounds crazy that Bill Clinton would have an ant farm, but then you watch an ant farm for a little while, and it's, like I said, fascinating stuff. And you see that, like, there's all these different functions that the ants perform, and you get a chance to take a look at them. Like, there's the army ants, the militants, headed up by the sergeants and lieutenants.
Oh, no.
And then the ones that really don't do anything with any of the other ants, the independents. And then you have, like, the ones that help other ants out when they get sick or injured. The ones that drive the ambulance.
All the descendants are rolling in their graves.
Oh, very good, Funkhouser. Go on. What else?
The U.S. Constitution is the only constitution in the world from the 1700s that is still in use today.
And I'm really a great admirer of the Constitution, and I don't lump myself in with the people that go, I'm a constitutional bird, just because it's like calling yourself a libertarian. You call yourself a libertarian because, well, I guess, I'm fiscally conservative. I believe in looking after my own, pulling myself up by my own bootstraps. I'd like to pay less taxes. If you could keep your filthy government wasteful hands off my money and let me kind of figure things out for myself, I would appreciate that. And well, as far as, anything else, I guess you would say that socially I'm liberal. Like, if you're not hurting anybody else, go ahead and do it. That's great. Whatever makes you happy. This is a country that's based on the idea of individual liberty, and therefore, I guess you could call me a libertarian. And then the moment you identify as a libertarian, there's a bunch of pot-smoking rednecks with AR-15s that want to take you shooting, and I want no part of that. So I avoid labeling myself and hence negating myself. So I don't call myself like, I'm a constitutional libertarian, and because the Constitution, this incredible, amazing document that has guided us throughout years and years and years. But the people that get all bent out of shape about it, like the U.S. Constitution is the only constitution in the world from the 1700s that's still in use today. I'm not downplaying its awesomeness. Hear me on this one. But the Constitution is not an infallible document. It has those things in them, Funkhouser. What are they called?
Amendments, ants.
Yeah, amendments. Oh, very good, Funkhouser. Very, very good. Yes. Amendments. And just by nature of the fact that, like, people are just like, oh, man, I love this amendment. That's my favorite amendment. Oh, gosh. I'm very much into my Second Amendment rights. I'm very much into the Fifth Amendment and everything. That, like, people that are so into their constitutional rights are like, you know what I really love? The correction. I like the correction. The part where we said that's wrong, so we're going to change it. Yeah, I'm really tied to that one piece of it. That thing where we openly admitted that this didn't work anymore. There we go. Like, people are so in love with the Constitution, but let's be real here. While it has served us unbelievably well over years, and it should be heeded and paid attention to and honored, and all the things that we do, like I said, it's not this infallible document. And we have the amendments as proof of that. The U.S. Constitution, the only Constitution in the world from the 1700s that's still in use today. Something else still working today from the 1700s, Funkhouser? John McCain.
My shoulders don't agree.
We can say that now. His daughter's no longer our coworker. There was that awkward moment where she was like down the hall from us.
I loved that.
Never
moment.
had us over. Never had us over to fill in for her. Was she nice? Did you meet her in the hallways? Was she?
We're on the air, right? She was great.
Yeah,
she was so nice.
Okay. I like her. I never
too.
really got
I
a chance
do like
to,
her.
I never really fully got a chance to listen to the show
Multiple
the way
reasons.
I would have liked to. But yeah,
I listened to her every day until she said, "Meh, I'm leaving."
Fox News wants me later.
I'd rather be looked at.
Well, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I thought, and the only time I've really heard her on the radio was when she was on Stern.
You should
she
go
was
back.
Awesome
You can hear
on
her
Stern.
on podcasts. I mean,
And
it's a little
like,
dated.
Here's
but
the thing, though. Stern makes everybody awesome. You know,
Yep.
like if Stern will not have you on and not bring out the most entertaining parts of you. So it's not a fair thing. But I heard her on Stern. I thought she was great. But the fact that she's not our coworker anymore allows us to take pot shots at her pops. I think, does it? I don't know.
Yeah.
What if she's listening? She's not listening. Go on.
Jackie Chan and Sylvester Stallone are doing an action movie together.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, like combined age of 150, I think. I don't know. Like, yeah. I think it's cool though. Like, what were the series of movies with the old action heroes, the Expendables? That was a thing, right?
I think
so.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was cool watching old guys kick ass. You ever seen that Clint Eastwood movie, Gran Torino, where he's like this old badass? Like, I like seeing old guys be badasses. I think it's cool.
What's it to you?
I think Jackie Chan and Sylvester Stallone doing an action movie together sounds awesome. It's just that probably all the fight scenes are just arguments now over whether they should watch Jeopardy or Matlock. Go on.
Just watch Grumpy
Always
Old
Jeopardy,
Men. You'll
by
be
the way.
fine. My Si's new song is called Masterpiece. Or is being called a masterpiece.
Whose?
My Si. Oh, Miley Cyrus. My Si.
Yeah.
The kids
Yeah,
call her My
yeah.
Si. Millennials. Trying to reach the younger generation. Generation Z.
A masterpiece, really?
A masterpiece.
Oh, wow. Have you heard it?
No, I don't think so. Have you?
No, but I'm looking at, yeah, Miley, to people calling Miley Cyrus's song a masterpiece, she credits the song and its quality to asking her dad for advice and then ignoring it. Oh, yeah, there you go. Go on.
A video surfaced of Kendall Jenner falling off a bicycle.
Yeah, I think the only thing she knows how to stay on top of are really, really, really bad rappers. Go on.
Kylie Jenner is renting a Beverly Hills mansion for $125,000 a month while her $12 million mansion is being renovated.
Wait, she's renting a mansion for 125 G's a month while her $12 million mansion's being... Oh, wow. Poor girl. It's got to be a horrible inconvenience for her. Replied absolutely no one, because no one can relate to that in any way, shape, or form.
She might have to drive further. Oh, she's not driving. Lastly, Donald Trump revealed highly classified intelligence information to 2 Russian diplomats he met with last week.
Yeah.
Wrap this up in 30 seconds.
Even worse than the time Trump met with Angela Merkel and ruined the ending of La La Land. Not cool, dude. Not cool. I know people that love Trump. Very astute political types that are way into Trump, voted for Trump, and it was like, yeah, he's going to get impeached because he's trying to be president like he ran his business. The way he conducted himself in the office is not the way he can conduct himself in the Oval Office, and he always seems to be right on the verge of doing something really great for America, then trips over his own junk in an act of incredible ineptitude. We'll wait and see how this plays out.